me. It's the coach. This is the 2019 season on EA Sports. Coming up, Devontae Freeman, fresh off 100 yards a week ago, as it'll be the Atlanta Falcons taking on the New York Giants. I'll join you again at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from earlier this afternoon. But for now, it's Sunday Night Football. And on the call, as always, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
And thank you, Coach. We are across the Hudson from Midtown Manhattan at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Atlanta Falcons and the New York Giants. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And, Charles, you take a look at this Giants ball club. They've been buoyed by getting 2 home games right at the start, and they come off a good victory in Week 1. Meanwhile, for the visiting Falcons, they come off a good win in the opener on the road, and they get a second road game here.
Yeah, the schedule makers didn't really do them any favors, but if they can win here and get to 2-0 on the road, they could be well set up for the rest of the year.
2 teams here, each off to 1-0 starts as this one is underway on EA Sports. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. So here are the Giants ready to start their initial drive of the game. And a glance at the tall signal caller, standing 6'6".
And I liked what his head coach told us about him this week, that no matter what happens, whether he throws 7 interceptions or 7 touchdown passes, he's the same assertive leader in the huddle on each and every play. He can throw the 7 interceptions, just blame the football, blame anything else, and still carry himself like he is the man.
It's like you, assertive in our production meetings.
Well, especially when we're talking about ordering dinner, ordering some snacks.
I was just going to say.
That's where I go.
Now a first carry for Jonathan Stewart. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
So a decent game, but
Still
all for
first
naught
down
on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue, line it.
Now they pitch it. It's Stewart. A nice move gets him a few extra. Down just shy of his 20. That's a gain of 6 on the first down run.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
On play action, they'll throw. And nearly an interception here on their opening drive. But instead, third down. The New York Giants offensively, their starters, and one guy out wide to take a look at, Sterling Shepard.
A really mature man in every way coming out of Oklahoma. Personally and professionally, you can play him out wide, play him in the slot. He can return punts for you. He's a dynamic playmaker.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
Blue, line it. Blue, line it.
Back to throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. Fourth down, so on is the punter, Riley Dixon. And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. Pulled in at the 24. Slips past him.
Where'd he go?
A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. They'll be led out by the #1 overall pick in the 2008 draft, the man they call Matty Ice, quarterback Matt Ryan.
And you know how they say it's not about the money? Sometimes it is about the money. Matt Ryan is going to average $30 million in salary per year now as one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL, and he more than deserves it. The NFL's MVP in 2016.
The fourth down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. They go play action here on first down. Throwing right, and that's complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. That one goes for 24 yards.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? And it sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. They'll run for the first time with Devontae Freeman. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
On second down, Freeman. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And it'll be a third and about 13.
That's two really good stops in a row. Back-to-back tackles for losses. I mean, let's face it, they are locked into what they're doing offensively. And now they've earned the right to rush the pass right third down, haven't they?
Yeah, and offensively they're going to have to do something else because the run game, at least on this drive, isn't working. Third and long, it's Ryan. Swings it out to the flat for Freeman. 6 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up fourth down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Here's the Giant offense now making their way back out onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He's got the hook up to Odell Beckham. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out in the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue line it.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Throwing left side, it's complete. And he's got this to the 30 before being taken down. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that?
All right, here we go. 3-19.
They'll look to throw here on first down. And this one is incomplete. Time to see how Atlanta will line up defensively. They're in the spot statistically that you don't want to be in against the pass. Number 32 in the league, dead last.
They'll take that play right there each and every snap because throughout this season, they've given up some big plays. To be able to hold someone to no gain, oh, yeah, they'll take that one all game long.
Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. On 2nd down, they run with Stewart. And he'll be brought down at about the 25 after a pickup of 4.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
All right, here we go.
They'll drop the throw. This is caught. And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. Sterling Shepard, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Giants are going to take a first-quarter lead. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions, and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Aldrich Rosas on for the extra point. Rosas good with the extra point, and that makes it a 7-3 lead. Rosas now to kick this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a first down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. On 1st and 10, it's Ryan. He completes it to Julio Jones. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. The numbers for Julio in last week's effort: 9 catches, 127 yards, and a score.
And one of the top receiving games in the league in week 1, and they're expecting those types of games from him each and every time out. And they're going to need that from him if they want to make a move towards a league title.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete. All right, let's look at the offense. Devontae Freeman, this is a guy that you wanted to talk about, so take it away.
Brandon, have you seen a running back play with such joy as well as such fury? I love the way he runs the football and attacks defenses.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. going to give it to Freeman. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third. A tackle for loss there. 2 last week. He's tough to handle coming off the edge.
I mean, you talk about a defensive end, your first thought is how does he rush the passer? That's where he makes his big plays getting into the backfield. But the best ones can play the run as well. And that's what we're seeing from him, that excellent combination of holding the point of attack and also getting upfield to make plays in the backfield.
On third down, Ryan. And he's got a man, Calvin Ridley. A gain of 19 and picking up the first.
When you're a player of his stature, you don't just circle the games on your team's calendar. You
Circle the Pro Bowl?
Without a doubt. That's a game that you just figure you're going to be in each and every year. And it's because of catches like that. That's why he goes.
Ryan now off the bootleg. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there? Freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Back to the running game. It's Freeman. And he stopped immediately there. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1. Time to look at the defensive strategy for the New York Giants. They are number 2 in the NFL against the run right now, Charles.
We know it's only week 1, but the results look pretty good so far. The key is, can they do it week in and week out? Because right now, they're not awarding any championships or trophies after 1 week of performance. Got some nice young faces playing for them. Let's see if they can get this going.
On 3rd and 1, Ryan. Man open left side is Brown. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
And Forbath will put this one through, and they'll get it back within a point at 7-6. So 2 first-quarter field goal attempts for him, and he's converted on both.
I like the positive right there. 2 for 2, got the points on the board. The negative side is they didn't score touchdowns. And, of course, going forward in this game, that's going to be the aim, and hopefully they'll be kicking extra points instead.
That's fielded in the end zone. Dances by him. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. Here again comes the captain of this offense leading his crew back out there now. He's had one of those games that any quarterback loves, not only being able to complete some passes, but some deep passes.
And it's pretty to watch. I mean, it's an absolute joy to see, but let's face it, we got to give a little bit of credit where it's deserved, right?
Well, the protection's been great, if that's where you're going.
Yeah, protection's been phenomenal, but how about how it's been spotlighted, right? Our producer, Christian McLeod, our director, Kyle Burt, the rest of the crew, what they put together with these images and pictures, if you're an offensive lineman, that's what you're taking with you to contract time.
They're going to have a lot to take to contract time if this continues. Boy, that's a lot of sirloin steak to be taken down for no gain, partner.
Are you trying to suggest that he is a huge man?
He is
not just a big man, a huge man.
Big boy.
Well, how about the credit then for the defense to be able to chop that big tree and put him on the ground?
I know back when you played, it took 4 of you to take a guy like that down, right?
Well, that's for sure. And you know what else? I didn't want to challenge him at dinner either. I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
And that is incomplete. Solid coverage on the play by Devondre Campbell.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Fielded at about the 28. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And that will come the offense as they take over. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
To throw is Ryan. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third.
Really nice play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball, but for the guys on the offensive line, they're doing a nice job of trying to protect their passer. But when a guy hops in the air and goes airborne to try and knock one away, it's difficult because you can't reach out and grab him. That'll be a holding penalty. So all you're trying to do is make some type of a play on him, make some type of contact to try and get his arms out of the sky.
Throw right side, caught by Ridley. At the end of one, 7-6 our score. Back to MetLife Stadium in just a moment.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, it's the Falcons in possession to begin quarter number 2. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll throw on 1st down with Ryan. That's complete right around the 8. And here he'll get it down to the 7. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
A 3rd field goal of the 1st half, not what they're looking for as they come up on 3rd down. Ryan now to throw on 3rd down. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
And Forbath will put this one through, and they jump back in front here. It's 9-7. So he's been a busy man here in this 1st half. That's 3 field goals for him now.
And not just 3 field goals, but 3 for 3. So even though the offense has struggled a bit putting it in the end zone, they've still been able to come away with points due to his leg.
Here's Bosher to kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Odell Beckham now marching back onto the field. With them losing here in the 2nd quarter and his limited productivity so far, you'd have to think they're going to try to look to him a little bit more, right?
I would guess you would start to see maybe some quick screens, some hitches, anything to get the ball in his hands quickly and let him try and do some damage after the catch. Or maybe just flip some formations and keep him isolated where it's more of a one-on-one route and get the ball to him.
I say just 4 verts, right?
Hey, why not 4 verts? One of the best routes in football. Hard to cover each guy all the way along the route.
So far, just 1 catch for him. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
It'll be a gain of 7, and they get it back to a 3rd and 3.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner, but where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge, whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end in the direction they want to run the football? If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
On 3rd down, Jonathan Stewart. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
We all love to have a home run hitter in the backfield. Guy who can take it the distance. But in short yardage, trying to pick up first downs, that big guy, always a nice luxury to have, isn't he?
Stewart on first down. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Call it a gain of 4 there, so it sets up a big play here. 3rd and a yard.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Hurry up, here we go. Green.
They'll try and run it. Here's Stewart. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. It'll be a loss of 1, and that's going to make it 4th down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. They're going to run. This is Stewart. And he's not going to get there. Might have even lost a yard. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And it'll be a turnover on downs. So he needed the short yardage, Charles. He elected to try to bounce it outside of the outer third. Unsuccessful.
Sometimes those plays are stacked up by the defense and there's nowhere to go, so you have to bounce it outside. And some backs just get impatient. They want to go to where they think there's more open territory instead of going where the play was actually blocked. In any case, it didn't work here.
It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
2nd and 12 after the first down pass play went backwards for 2 yards. From midfield now, here's Ryan. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Well, that's a pretty darn good start to his season, huh? A sack in the opener, adds a second one here. That tells you about his offseason. He came in determined to have a big year, and it's paying off.
So the sack pushes him back, and now 3rd and long for Ryan and the Falcons. From the gun, it's Ryan. And this is going to be incomplete. Janoris Jenkins with good coverage that time as he was able to get in there and knock it away.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
On 4th down, here's Matt Bosher on the punt. And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. He's going to field this at the 4. Call that 49 yards on the punt. They do get 7 back on the return. And the Giants' drive will start from deep in their territory with a 1st and 10. Here now, time to discuss Odell Beckham Jr. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? 2nd quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us, but sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to take what you want, and that means getting him the football.
Yeah, so far just a single catch in this game. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Here we go now. Green, 30.
Back to throw here. He's going to fire one deep over them, and he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Keanu Neal, and they'll set up shop right near midfield at the 49-yard line.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. Well, what do you think? You get the ball off the turnover near the middle of the field. You take a shot here in the first play?
You know I'm big on that. I love when I have great field position after a turnover. I feel like I might have a little bit off balance. I prefer to take a shot.
And time finally runs out. He can't get rid of the football, and he's taken down. Jonathan Hankins in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
A few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
I know the initial focus was on how far that pass was downfield, but how about the coverage on the play? Able to stay with him, get his hands where the receiver's hands were going to try and catch the ball, tips it up in the air, and knocks it away.
Falcons on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This will be 3rd and forever. From the shotgun, Ryan. And that is incomplete.
And absolutely zero surprise that that one was incomplete, huh? I mean, truthfully, how many OCs have we seen with 3rd and 20 on their play sheet and go, oh, I've got the exact play to dial up?
No, that's just a head scratching down when you're facing a 3rd and 20. Tried to complete it, couldn't get it done. Here's Matt Bosher now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Oh, he'll field it in the end zone. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And it'll be Giant football 1st and 10. And now out come the Giants. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful.
Is this intercepted? It is. It's intercepted. Picked off by Robert Alford. a young pup, the rookie being intercepted by a veteran DB.
And I loved our quick conversation in pregame with him on the field where he said, hey, look, I love playing these young quarterbacks. They don't know a whole lot yet, so I can use my mind to put me in a position to make a play.
Atlanta now coming out on the field.
They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. They want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a first down. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. Here's Ryan. And finding the tight end Hooper. And down inside the 15 he goes. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him,
and he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Devontae Freeman, his 4th touchdown on the year, and the Falcons will add on to their lead. Kai Forbath on for the extra point. And now it's blocked. This is going the other way. But he will not be able to bring this one back, and the extra point attempt unsuccessful.
I know it's easy to kind of shrug off a blocked extra point, but this game is shaping up to be a tight one. The second half, this could prove crucial.
Yeah, we might look back on this one. We'll have to wait and see. Odell Beckham now marching back onto the field. Hasn't had his best day to this point here in the second quarter. They're losing. You got to think, though, that also means that maybe the defense doing a good job on him. There's two sides to that coin.
I would agree, so you have to give them credit, but that means you've got to find a way to beat that defense and make sure one of your top playmakers touches the football.
And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes.
There's a lot of discussion in the offseason about him having a big year and getting to the quarterback. They held him without a sack in week 1, but how about here? Finally gets his first one of the season.
In the offseason, said he changed his diet, leaner, feels so good this year. Excited to see what type of a season he can have. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. And the pressure gets to him again. The Giants on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This will be a tough 3rd and 18.
All right, here we go. Blue line it. Blue line it.
They're going to look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Falcons going to use another timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. Here's Riley Dixon now as he's on to punt for New York. And he's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And it's fielded at the 34. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10.
And now let's discuss Julio Jones. They've got the lead. They haven't really had to utilize him all that much so far, but I guess if you're winning on the scoreboard, not too much to complain about.
Not at all, but you know those guys out wide, they want as many catches as they can possibly get. They may need him later on if things get a little tighter.
Yeah, so far, 2 catches. We'll see what happens here as the game progresses. Throwing now, Ryan on first down. The left side completion to Jones. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. That goes for a gain of 31.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. On first down, Ryan. And that is caught. Touchdown, Falcons. Calvin Ridley, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Falcons will extend their lead. And that drive happened quickly, which is great because they scored the points, but then their defense has to come right back out on the field.
It is exciting, isn't it, for the offense to do that? The defense is saying, okay, that's cool, but let's not make it a habit. We need to get some rest sometime.
Now Forbath for the extra point. This time, the extra point up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And the end result, an Atlanta touchdown. Here's Bosher to kick it away. This will be fielded at the 6. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. And New York set to take the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. And that's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
And his throw is going to be incomplete. Good coverage that time by the linebacker, Deion Jones. And as a first-rounder, a lot of eyes on him, a lot of expectations.
And he has to play well in his rookie year. Those days of coddling guys and bringing them along slowly, those days are long gone. When you're drafted in the first round, they expect you to play right away. And the community's eyes and fan base, they'll be on you the entire way.
And you take a look at this draft class from a season ago, really it grades out as a pretty darn good class.
So you have to give a lot of credit to the entire scouting organization. General manager, personnel department, college scouts, all came together. They evaluated it very well and got a nice payoff.
He'll look to throw. Going up top. And that one incomplete. Had some position but couldn't hold on, and it brings up 4th down.
Another dangerous throw there, partner. I mean, he's already thrown 2 interceptions here in the first half. I don't know if you want to keep throwing up 50-50 balls when you've had that kind of lack of success.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well could have been a 3rd interception in half number 1. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. Out comes Calvin Ridley and the offense for their next drive. He's up over 100 yards, has the touchdown. He's a big-time receiver in this league, so the question becomes, how do you limit him going forward?
Well, you know the guys trying to cover him, they haven't had a whole lot of success thus far, and while they will still accept the challenge, maybe you have to change your focus. You have to get after the quarterback a little bit, disrupt his timing, because right now it feels like pitch and catch. Make sure he's not able to have clear sight lines to him, and maybe that'll slow him down.
And this is not the guy you want to let play pitch and catch. From the 22, here's 2nd and 8. So we have reached halftime now with the visiting Falcons out on top. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome in, everyone, to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Let's get you caught up on what's going on around the NFL. We'll get started out in Texas, NRG Stadium in Houston, where you see the final score there. Deshaun Watson, 2 touchdown passes as his guys remain unbeaten. We'll stay in the AFC South as we head over to check on the Jags at home in Jacksonville. And they were losers in that ball game to the visiting New Orleans Saints. Teddy Bridgewater, 2 touchdown passes as his guys remain unbeaten. And then one more to highlight, Monday Night Football. As folks, you'll see a good one between the Tennessee Titans and the Denver Broncos. In our game, it was the former MVP, Matt Ryan, with a strong first half. He's thrown for over 200 yards already, and his guys have the lead as well. As we get you back to Brandon Gaud.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Falcons back to receive. They've got the lead, and they'll get this football as the second half gets underway. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And here now come the Falcons. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team. That their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up second down. Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10, it's Ryan again. He's going to go for a big play now. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. And the return here is stopped at the 35-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Here's the Giants offense now getting set to start the third quarter. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. A very solid gain of 27.
But when you hit him on the move like that, he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game.
Detroit!
Now back to throw. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Get your backs to the goal line. I can hear my high school coach right now. This is when force meets force. Got to be physical in order to win this battle.
Yeah, that's where the physicality pays off. A nice job forcing the contact and forcing the incompletion.
Yeah, Coach Ford would have loved that play.
Nothing on first down, so the ball remains at the 8-yard line. 2nd and goal.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19.
They'll set up a throw. And this is incomplete. The safety, Keanu Neal, there to knock that one free.
All defenders get tired of hearing about their lack of hands and why they're playing defense instead of offense. But in this situation, it was the hands that made the play. Batting the ball away on an attempted touchdown pass. Excellent job. Way to knock it down.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. The quick slant caught. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. I guess they figure they got to start taking some chances. Here's a big one in this 3rd quarter as he'll go for it on 4th down.
Now let's go. Boom.
They'll run for it. It's Stewart. And he's going to bull his way into the end zone for a Giants touchdown. Jonathan Stewart, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Giants are able to draw a bit closer. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the 3rd quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there's an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
PAT up and good by Rosas. And this is back to an 8-point game. 5 plays there on that drive. And it's capped off by a Jonathan Stewart run. Rosas now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here are the Falcons as their offense heads back onto the field. They've got to right the ship. They had a great first half, but the lead has really gone down. Now, you know, you always talk about the adjustment to the adjustment. They've got to adjust right here.
And I think a lot of it is just mentally. Get back to doing what you were doing well in the beginning of the game, but a lot of that is playing with that emotion and that sense of pride and fire that sometimes goes away a little bit when you build up a lead. You think you've got it going, and you also think, at any moment, I can go ahead and go back to the way it was before. You and I both know it's not that easy once you get off the gas a little.
Yeah, they don't want to see this lead diminish anymore.
I think it's pretty evident we can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
To throw on 3rd down. Ryan, throw left side, complete. That's Freeman. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one good for 15 and a first. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie up to make the tackle.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves to James.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide it. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. Ryan now after the pick on the last drive. 3 for 3 to start this drive. It's 1st and 10. Ryan on the handoff. It's Freeman. And not much to speak of there. Maybe a yard down to the 20. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Again, they'll run with Freeman. And he gets it down close to the 10-yard line. Pretty good running there, 9 yards. Sets up a 3rd and 1.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. A fake to Freeman. Now it's Ryan. And this is going to be incomplete.
I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow them to drive all the way downfield, but once they got their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let them get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up 4th. And Forbath will put this one through, and that will bump the lead up to 11. So making 4 out of 4 now in the field goal department, and he's able to extend their lead.
When drives are bogged down, he's been automatic out there. So nice to have a kicker you can count on to put points on the board.
Here's Bosher to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. The New York set to take the field. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
Here we go now.
They'll start the drive with a run by Stewart. And he'll be brought down here at the 28. The safety, Keanu Neal, there to make the tackle.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Hurry up, here we go.
Back to throw. To Shepard, complete over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 23 yards on the play.
I know we just saw a nice throw and catch, but how about the big guys up front buying that time? Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They created time and allowed the space to happen, and it turned into a really nice play.
This quarterback now, 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
There's a completion to the tight end, and I think that we're looking at something out of central casting, frankly.
Absolutely.
I mean,
size, the hands.
Speed. I mean, can flat out run. You put that whole package together, you light up the eyes of an offensive coordinator, don't you?
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. He hits Stewart in the flat. Great footwork, but still wrangled down before reaching the 20. It's an 8-yard pickup, and that'll make it a 2nd down.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards.
4 down, 4 down. All right, here we go. Blue, line it.
Back to throw again. Shakes off the side. But now he's swallowed up and taken down. Vic Beasley in there to get him for his 2nd sack of the night. A rough couple of weeks for the man under center. 5 sacks last week, 4 now this week. Do you try to design some quicker developing plays if you're an offensive coordinator?
I think you do that. I think you also change his launch point at times. In other words, move your pocket.
And he's going to go down again. Vic Beasley in there to get him again. The 3rd time he sacked him here tonight.
My man, it's been a rough night for that offensive line, and it's only getting rougher. 5 sacks now that they've given up in this contest so far. It feels like the witching hour out here, doesn't it?
Okay, stupid question. What's the witching hour?
Yeah, the witching hour. That's when everything goes haywire late at night.
Aldrick Rosas now to try the Giants field goal. From the right hash and call it an even 50 yards. That's leaking to the right, and he missed it by a foot or 2. It's no good, and this score will stay right where it is.
Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
Ryan and the Falcons now come up 1st and 10 at the 40. The drive will start with a carry by Devontae Freeman. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
On 2nd down, here's Ryan. Over the middle, that's caught by Ridley. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. The Falcons on 3rd down. They've converted a 1/3 of their opportunities, 3 for 9. Here it's 3rd and 2. A handoff, Devontae Freeman. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively. And it likely forces a punt situation on 4th. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Falcons say they have it. They do. A little careless with the football. And he also had a fumble loss last week, didn't he?
He certainly did. And when I'm watching him play, the one thing that comes to mind is always remember, traffic, turbulence, people around you, 2 hands. Get 2 hands on the ball. Grip it tight. I know it looks cool to have it in one hand. Put it away, tuck it away, because you've got to take care of the ball.
Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
They'll run here with Freeman. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. He'll get 2 out of that run, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and goal.
An opportunity to get a drive started here at the end of the 3rd quarter. What you're trying to do is break the game down a little bit. Don't let your guys see too deep into the game, into the future, and say, oh, we got to get here. No, right here, right in front of them, melt the clock down, get to the 4th quarter, try and keep going.
And try to keep that lead.
Exactly.
1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here at MetLife Stadium. It's the Falcons. They've got the football. They've got the lead as we get set to start the 4th. Nothing on 1st down, so the ball remains at the 8-yard line. 2nd and goal. They'll give it to him up the middle. And he is met at the line of of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain that time, and now it's 3rd and goal. And this situation with the lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it, when you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
And Forbath will put this one through, and that will get the lead up to 14. So yet another field goal to end a drive. That has been a very common theme. He's now hit 5 of them in this game.
Yeah, Brandon, as an offense, you hate that you've had to call on your kicker so often, but you have to love the fact that time and time again, he's come through.
Here's Bosher to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Here's the Giant offense now as they get ready to take over here. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
You like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
And a great move on the play as he takes this one past the 25. 7 yards on the play, and it'll be a 2nd down. At this stage, this drive's got to be touchdown or bust because you need 2 of them.
And if I'm the offensive play caller, I'm not just looking at my dagger plays downfield. I'm looking at some of my specials, something that can fool them and give you a big play now.
With a sense of urgency.
No doubt.
Able to get 7 on that 1st down pass play. 2nd and 3.
All right, here we go. Blue line.
He'll drop to throw. He'll let it go deep for Beckham. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Ricardo Allen with a pick. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games. And now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Super toe.
No gain on the play there. 2nd down.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
On 3rd down, Ryan. And incomplete on the deep ball. Well, too much oomph, too much mustard there on that pass.
They really turned it loose, didn't they? Really cut loose with that one. Sharp, strong. Didn't lead to a completion, though. Made it very difficult.
But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble.
I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it, somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atone for his sin, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now. Wide open receiver complete. And they finally do get him, but not before he reaches the 27. A big play there for the Giants. 62 yards. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
Now a play fake here on first down. Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. His throw incomplete. Good coverage that time by the linebacker, Deion Jones. Boy, the numbers throwing the football just not trending in the right direction. Last week he was under 50%. He's under 50% again here.
And we haven't gotten an announcement, but it appears to me that he might be a little dinged up and is just trying to play through. You know, he's one of those tough guys that wants to answer the bell each and every play for his team. That might be throwing off his accuracy.
And now the third down throw incomplete as well. And the trick play doesn't work. Good reaction there defensively, and it'll be fourth down. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. His throw caught at the 5. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on fourth down. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll look to throw again. Under pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sack back around the 8. Vic Beasley in there again. My goodness, that is now his 4th sack tonight. They'll set up to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. You got to think this is likely 4-down territory anyway, but they'll try to punch it in now on 3rd and goal. They'll drop to throw. And that is incomplete. Good coverage that time by the linebacker, Deion Jones.
And that was a nice play. He knocked it away, but obviously you want the interception in this situation. You want to take away any chance that they have any decision to make on 4th down. But things happen so quickly in the end zone in this compressed area of the field that you're just happy to knock it away and not allow a touchdown.
He'll look to throw. And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. Odell Beckham, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Giants have got it back to a 1-score game. Big 4th down conversion for the score, and the defense, that is a tough pill to swallow.
Big time for them. How about them just deciding to go for it on 4th down? And, okay, forget the field goal, because that looked like an easy 3 points. Yeah, you might have had a defensive breakdown in there, but they pressed the issue and found a way to get it into the end zone. Give them big credit for that.
Rosas true blue on the extra point, and now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. That time a 9-play drive, and it was finished off by a touchdown by the New York Giants. Rosas now to kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession. That was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing, but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
And he'll get this one up to the 26. A gain of 3, second down. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
Looking middle, and it's incomplete.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on second down. From the gun, it's Ryan. It's caught over the middle. Hooper. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Big hook up there. Forced to throw it on 3rd down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. A 20th carry now for Devontae Freeman. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
And he gets this one to Ridley complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Give him 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Matt Ryan. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you go make a play on the football.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well.
Normally, he's pretty reliable. Usually catches what's thrown to him. On that play, he simply dropped it.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
And the blitz does come. And he can't get away from the pressure. The Giants get there. And now the Giants will stop play as they take a timeout defensively. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. Here's Matt Bosher now. He's been terrific so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Giants will get it now at the 20. The Giants offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. Last time they were out here, they had the benefit of good field position, led to a touchdown. This time, they're going to have to work for it.
They are, but with that last drive that culminated in a touchdown, I think they carry that confidence into this one. Doesn't matter where you start with the football now, they have to feel great about their opportunity.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Ricardo Allen with a pick. And he will score. Touchdown, Falcons. A little bit of a backbreaker right there. You're down close, one-score game, trying to push the ball down the field and score. You throw a pick six.
And sometimes you take a little bit of a gamble when you're making your throws, right? Sometimes you press it a little bit more than maybe you wanted to because you want that score so badly. In this case, it cost them.
Forbath to add the extra point. Forbath able to convert the extra point. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Falcons set to get things rolling on defense again here. After the pick six, they go right back to the air. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. Fourth quarter, every drive's so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You got the first one for the second one to even matter.
He'll let it, and this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked up by Keanu Neal, and he'll get this one out to the 50 to the midfield stripe. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration, not a good play.
After the penalty, here's Freeman. He'll get about 6 there as he takes this one down to the 24-yard line. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On 3rd down, Devontae Freeman. And he gets this down to the 18, good enough for a 1st down. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
They're not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Oh, look at this. Ryan's going to throw it. Connects with Sanu right side. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
But that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Now a handoff. It's Freeman. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 3.
Another scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
A lot of scoring. There's no doubt about that in this one, Charles. Points, they were not at a premium. They were pretty easy to come by.
They were, but it was fun, wasn't it? Because both teams finding ways to click. And you know people who love this game, they also love baseball games that are 14-11 with 3 or 4 home runs mixed in.
So for the Falcons, it's a dream start. 2 wins in 2 early road games. And they'll have another road date next week with the Los Angeles Rams. Meanwhile, for the Giants, they'll fall to 1-1. And they will get a home date next week as they will take on the Dallas Cowboys. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.